Namaste everyone. I'm Yashendra Sethi. Mahmoud and me, we lead the publishing committee at Inauris and will be taking forward your research goals with the next topic, review of the final draft. We will be sharing our experience in publication and the experience with which we have got attending conferences by various authorities like Elsevier. So to start with, I'd like you all to self-introspect a bit and understand why you want to publish your work. It's important that you understand that is your work new and interesting? Is it a current hot topic? Have you provided solutions to some difficult problems? And are you ready to publish at this point? This is very important to know that what you feel about a publication now. So if you feel good yourself, only then a journal will feel good about it. Going ahead, I'd like to share words of an international editor who told the most common reasons for rejections for a publication. The most common reasons are that it is out of scope of the journal. So you have to select a journal according to the scope of your work. Failure to format the paper. Important for formatting is important. We'll discuss this in our like the lecture today. Inappropriate suggested reviewers. You have to find perfect reviewers for you who have some correct knowledge of your subject, who are well recognized in their fields, so they give you the best reviews and help you improve your manuscript. Inadequate response to the reviewers. When you get once you get the responses, you have to be appropriate in replying to your reviewers and going ahead with resubmission process. And inadequate standard of English. See, the scientific writing is an art. We'll discuss a bit on that too. And resubmission of rejected manuscripts without revision. So this is beyond the scope of this PPT for today, but revisions have to be done in a proper way, and you cannot just skip through them easy. So before we start, we have to know what are the types of a manuscript. As you all know, that these can be a full article, a review paper, or some short letters and communications. So, what makes a good manuscript? We must know what are the ingredients to make a good manuscript. See, a manuscript must be clear, useful, and convey an exciting scientific message. This must flow in a logical manner and must be formatted to the best. We all know that there is a style that transmits the message clearly. So scientific writing is an art which comes with time, but you have to start knowing that your text maintains the correct flow and you present your work in the most presentable way. Now, we have to know it's not easy. It's going to be tough, and you have to work hard, but you have to do it in a way that you cherish your work. And there's no secret recipe for success. There are just simple rules, dedication, and hard work. The editors and reviewers are just us because we are in the age of peer peer review. So we have to write a work, we have to present a work in the all like following all the guidelines, saving the time for them because they are much busier than we are. And I'll again emphasize that the presentation of your work is highly critical because that represents the kind of message you want to convey. So going ahead with our topic today, we will be dividing it into three parts: review of ethical considerations, the language review, and the style review. For ethical considerations, it's important that you obtain all necessary clearances for the data you collect, for the ethical review from your research review board, and be formal and professional in submitting your work to one journal at a time. Don't submit it to multiple journals. If your work is good enough, one journal will accept it. If you do it to multiple journals, you are just breaking the ethical code, which is not professional and this can probably cause you more harm than good for tomorrow. If there are any conflicts of interest, declare it in the manuscript itself and give proper credit and proper attribution to every work done in the project. Coming to the language review, as we discussed later too, that the language is very important. This is not a creative writing class, so we have to understand the journal space is precious. You have to be concise, crisp, follow the word limit, be professional with the words, like just write minimum text and convey the maximum message. This is an art, but it will come with time. It has to be more precise, and it must maintain a good flow. When someone, even a layman, reads through your text, he must understand what you want to convey, and it must waste the least time for a person. You must read your own manuscript like a reader once after writing it, and you must like judge yourself on the way you have written it. If you feel like that conveys the message perfectly what you want to convey, only then you must go ahead saying that, yeah, I've written this part well, now I'll proceed to the next part. Coming to the proofreading part, see, it's important that you cut and brief your work after writing. You like cut and slash it, keep the most important parts, reframe it, avoid any repetitions of word, take care of spellings, punctuations, and grammar. Ask your colleague to read once or someone you trust. It will help you review from outside. I always like to ask someone layman or someone with no knowledge of the topic to read the manuscript once. What that does, it adds in dimension to your script that even someone who has no knowledge of the topic can understand your work. So I've written it that well. Now, if you're working with co-authors, it's very important that every one of them reads it. Like make an online documents, allow them to push their comments and suggestions, and make it better with their comments. So to summarize, it must be a crisp text with a smooth reading flow, having no grammatical or punctuation errors. These punctuation and grammatical errors are important because if you don't do it, the journal will do it at a cost called the preferential editing services by the journal. So this is something which you must be doing to even avoid extra unnecessary cost on you. So coming to the style review, so we all know that the basic structure of a full article includes title, authors, abstract, keywords, and the main text. For the main text, it's important we follow the IMRAD pattern, which is introduction, methods, results, and the discussion. Take care to mention all acknowledgement. Take care to mention all references. In references, it's important to follow the right style. We'll discuss each in detail as we go ahead. The title is the opportunity to attract the journal. It has to be concise, creative, and short. Don't use any abbreviations. Follow the guidelines. If the journal says APA, keep it to less than 12 words. Maintain the sentence case and follow every single guideline written for the title, because this is going to keep you importantly in race to get published. Keep Some journals do ask for two titles too, like the main title in the specific format they ask and a running title, so you can keep ahead with both of them, maintaining the standards asked. Coming to the abstract is very important because this is the first part a reviewer sees. This is the first part which anyone sees while when you submit it to a conference. So you have to make it accurate and specific. Keep your conclusions clear. Keep more focus on the results and the conclusion and less on the background, because the background is already established. You are presenting your work, so it has to be in the word limit of 50 to 300 words. Keep it short, keep it crisp, keep it precise, and make it very clean. And the next part is keywords. Keywords are important because these are the ones that are going to get you citations tomorrow. So highlight everything which is important about your work through the keywords. Make at least 5 6 keywords, and make it in a way that if you want to search your article, what would you like people to search? So that is something which will be important to make the keywords for the manuscript. Coming to the main manuscript part, the introduction. The introduction is the way to convince the readers the importance of your work. For the introduction, you start by describing the problem, tell about any existing solutions, what are the main limitations, and how do you hope to achieve it. So for an introduction, it will be a clean background of the thing, and then you follow with what the existing literature says, why there's a conflict, why there's a gap in literature, and how do you wish to fill the gap, what would be the research questions or the objectives of your study, and what would be the rationale of your study. If once you cover it, it will present an author's view that that your study is feasible and it's important. It's important that while you write the introduction, you maintain good paragraphs, right? It's important to stop the paragraph at the right moment and to transit to the new paragraph, so a person while reading knows that the next paragraph starts a new thing which you want to start, and a common paragraph ends a normal simple talk. And the references in the introduction have to be maintained in adequacy. You cannot be like writing something which is not relevant and just your hypothesis. Coming to the next section, this is the section of the methods or the methodology. This is the most critically reviewed section. So you have to be very precise with it. Mention everything from the center of study to the style of study to the type of study to the way you have conducted the study to the instruments which we have used to the inclusion and the exclusion criteria. Be as specific as you want to be, and keep it crisp. Give the in all necessary details you have, from sample size calculation to stuff. And if you have used any software for sample size calculation, do mention that. If you have used any formula, do mention that. This just adds to the method section and allows any rejections on the basis of it. The last part is the results. Your results must be in alignment with your objectives. You must not go ahead like describing anything which is not relevant to your work. Keep the subheadings. If you use tables, make crisp clear headings to them. Give a short description below them. Use charts. Use diagrams to convey your work. If it's preferable that you don't copy paste anything, but if you are using anything in a review which a diagram you want to copy, better to like recreate it and give etiquette reference and take etiquette permissions for that. For the discussion, you start with a short intro, then you go ahead describing your results in detail, comparing it with previous literature, that how your work is in congruence with what's already proven and how it's interestingly different from what's already said by other authors. And then you conclude it with a crisp conclusion that covers all your objectives and also lays what more has to be done as future prospects to the study. Going ahead with the last part, the references, I prefer that in the modern age you use the bibliography software, like Mendeley or EndNote. It's super easy and avoids you hard work to change the styles at the end, because different journals demand different style of references, and if you don't do it by a software, you will be doing that manually. So it's better to use a software. It's super easy and also helps you keep a backup of the references you have. And last but not the least, give a proper acknowledgements to all the participants, colleagues, and for funders. If there are any collaborators, do mention them. And if the journal allows you to write about the author contributions, I would prefer that you write them too, because this gives an exact idea of the contribution each one has made to the paper, so your work is highlighted the best way possible. So probably that's all from my end, and if you have any questions, you can reach out to us. Here are the social media handles of me and Mahmoud. You can follow us. We are also sharing with the handles of Inoris, so you can follow us there too. See you all. I hope I could contribute to help you learn a bit on how to give the final review to your draft. I hope this was fun. Thank you for listening.